Welcome to the lesson in 5. In this video, we're going to try to summarize the weekly lesson study into 5 main points, and we do that in 5 minutes or less. Check the description below for the full study guide that we'll be studying. This week, our lesson is God and the covenant. Why does God establish a covenant with his people? What does the covenant entail? These are details that we'll be exploring this week. You see, basically, the covenant is God seeking to establish a relationship with his people. And this week, we are going to be looking at the covenant in great detail. The idea of the covenant. The people go back to God and they promise to be faithful to the covenant that has been established between them and God. But what is the covenant? See, the covenant is God seeking a relationship with his people. God says, I will be your God and you will be my people. Covenants in history. God established and re-established the covenant with the children of Israel several times, from Noah, Moses, Abraham, and so forth. God was seeking to reconnect with his people. And the covenants all show some common characteristics. These covenants all entail sanctification, justification, mission, and reconciliation. These are common themes in God's covenant, and God still seeks to establish these things with his people today. The covenantal structure. Covenants in Old Testament times had 6 key elements. First is the preamble, the historical prologue, the stipulations or laws, blessings and curses, witnesses, and finally special provisions. Joshua 24. We encourage you to read Joshua chapter 24. The entire chapter follows that covenant outline. And God calls the people in Joshua 24, that famous appeal where Joshua says, choose ye this day, who will you serve? The gods who your fathers worshipped beyond the Euphrates, or will you serve Yahweh, the God of heaven? That's a choice that we are faced with every day. Who are we going to serve? The gods of this world or the God of heaven? People, through their leaders, priests, Levites, and community leaders, make pledges, promises to God that they will be faithful to. The first thing they promise is no more mixed marriages, because they didn't want to be led astray through marriage. Second thing they promise is that they'll be faithful to observe the true Sabbath. They will make sure that they keep it holy in everything they do, because the Sabbath was a key element in their relationship with God. They also agree to cancel all debts and keep the 7-year provisions that were there in the law. In other words, they would cancel debt every 7 years. They agreed to the years of Jubilee. And they wanted to do this because they realized that their relationship with God also included how they related in the community, also included stamping out injustice and oppression among themselves. The final thing that they agreed to is to support the activities of the temple. They wanted to make sure that the temple continues to thrive and grow. The temple becomes an important theme, and that's the next thing that we are going to turn to, the temple. Why do the people pledge to support the work of the temple through tithes, through offerings, through different gifts that they would bring? Because the temple formed a vibrant part, a vital part of their worship and spirituality. So what they're really pledging to do is to invest in their relationship with God. They were going to put in their time and their means. These were people with meager means, but with the little that they had, they were going to put their resources into the temple. You see, God wants us to invest in our spirituality, to invest in our relationship with him. God declares that where our treasure is, there our hearts will be also. He wants us to be invested in our relationships with him. God is calling you to have a vibrant, meaningful, covenant relationship with him. A relationship where he says, I will be your God. And one guarantee is that God will never fail on his promises. Hi everybody. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Click that like button. Also subscribe to this channel. I'd also appreciate to see your comments and your feedback. are very, very meaningful to me. So make sure that you put in those comments, share the video as well with others who are around you. So thank you very much. God bless you. Hope you enjoy the lesson in 5. If you've enjoyed the video, you're going to enjoy the PowerPoint presentation as well. So just check that in the description below.